Welcome to the report from Tiger Mountain. Tonight we're going to talk about the British Prime Minister. Yes, Rishi Sunak. Is he English? Let's talk about that tonight on the report from Tiger Mountain. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Is he English? You'll notice that of late that there has been a number of leaders of Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and Britain that have been, not ethnically of those countries. You had the Tessiocan Island, who was a gay Indian man. You had some leader up in Scotland who was like he was like of Muslim extraction. And then you had somebody in Wales. There was a meme that went around that showed these were the current four leaders. And then, of course, you've got, the mayor, Sadiq Khan of London, who is some kind of Indian, Pakistani origin. I have no idea. So anyway, it's... of course, this is deliberate, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, obviously, England, essentially those four countries, England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, have had a huge influence on world history. And, obviously, for a long time, England and Britain ruled the world. The British Empire ruled the world, and it was the empire upon which the sun never set, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, one of the, things that backfires about, empire is that you get many immigrants coming in from the far colonies. And that, I guess, over the years, there has been a movement, particularly since World War II, particularly since the globalist agenda began to take hold in the 1950s, there's been a move towards mass immigration into Western countries and into England, Britain, from people from all around the world. This is, so now you have these great nations that once, whose power was in the world was, unparalleled, now ruled over by people from foreign countries. And you've got this guy, Rishi Sunak. Now, I've listened to some of what this guy has said. I don't particularly hate him. I don't particularly hate his politics. At least he's a Tory. At least he's not Labour. Tory's always been a little bit better than Labour. But he's unelected. Boris Johnson, for all his faults, I quite like Boris to some extent, even though he was clearly corrupted by the globalists. And obviously I did really strongly dislike Boris's position on Ukraine, because he was a big supporter of this stupid war against Russia in the Ukraine that is not helping the Ukrainians, is certainly not helping the Russians, it's helping nobody. So anyway, Rishi Sunak has taken over, and the polls aren't looking good. It looks like Labor might actually have a win. And you had someone like George Galloway, who's quite interesting in a way, who in a largely Muslim kind of electorate was nominated and won his seat. And he was strongly anti-Israel, which of course is most upsetting, because we all know all of our Western politicians have to bow down to Israel. So for whatever reason, I quite support any politician in the West, even if it's been elected by Muslims within our own countries, that's anti-Israel, because I think it just upsets the status quo. And it also points out how our countries are controlled by the Zionists. And so, it's all very interesting. But, is he English? For example, if I went to China and I was an expat in China and I lived in Beijing or whatever, okay, fair enough, that's possible, I could do it. I could even live in Hong Kong, why not? There are a lot of expats in Hong Kong, even still, since the Chinese took over. But if I were to somehow take an interest in Chinese politics, I'm sure they probably wouldn't, I wouldn't even be allowed to, I don't even know what the laws are. But say I was allowed to, whether it be in Hong Kong or Beijing, and I were to become a politician and become the mayor of Beijing or the mayor of Hong Kong, would I be Chinese? No, I wouldn't. Nothing they could do would make me Chinese. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I would be the Australian leader of Beijing or the Australian leader of Hong Kong, right? So I don't understand how we think that people from other countries can come to a country like England, Britain, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and consider themselves of that country. You know what I mean? There's this, it just doesn't make sense to me, and I think it's a nonsense. If I went to Japan, I would always be an Australian expat living in Japan or in China or wherever the hell I decided to settle. So, that's it. And, I just think, it's extraordinary that we have the leader, the Prime Minister of Britain is essentially of Indian extraction, and then you've got this Sadiq Khan. I don't even know what he is. He's 100 times worse than, at least, Rishi Sunak I mean, listen to this. It's like Rishi Sunak and Sadiq Khan. This sounds like a fucking dish down the local fucking Indian restaurant, mate. And these are the leaders of the most powerful nation on earth. You know, the formerly great, Great Britain. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we're in trouble, and I just wanted to talk about that, even though it's politically incorrect to do so.